get ready for a quick quest guide for the Ghost Ahoy quest, in which the main rewards for completing are free entry into Port Phasmatis, an ectophile which provides free and easy teleports to the ectofungus near Port Phasmatis, 2,400 prayer experience, and 2 quest points. You will need to have completed both the Restless Ghost and the Priest in Peril quests before you can take on this one, and you'll also be required to have level 25 agility and level 20 cooking too. In terms of items, you're going to need quite a few things. Firstly, you'll absolutely need your Ghost Speak amulet for just about everything, as well as 5 to 10,000 coins. Honestly, you won't need all of this, but it just helps to have it on hand. Additionally, if you don't have any ecto tokens, then you'll need to make some, and for this you'll need 8 bones of any kind and 8 empty pots. You'll also need a needle and 1 thread, some silk, a knife, a spade, and an oak longbow. On top of this, you'll need a tinderbox, some logs of any kind, and some closed gloves, such as basic leather gloves, as well as at least 1 bowl of water, but ideally 2 or 3 if your cooking level is low, and a bucket of milk. Then you'll also want 3 blue, 3 yellow, and 3 red dyes. In terms of recommended items, I would suggest bringing weight reducing armor if you have access to it, as well as a stamina potion. Additionally, you will want 4 Fenkenstrain's Castle teleports to help you get around during the quest. And on top of this, a weapon is handy for defeating a level 32 lobster, and depending on your combat level, food and armor might come in handy here as well. Now before we get fully into the quest, we're going to make ecto tokens, which are required for its completion. However, if you already have around 35-ish ecto tokens, then you can skip through this chapter of the video and go straight to the official quest start. For making ecto tokens, firstly ensure that you have your coin stack, 8 bones and 8 pots, and also that you're wearing your Ghost Speak amulet. And then we're going to begin at the charter ship in Port Sarim, or any charter ship for that matter, whereby you'll want to pay to have the crew member transport you to Port Phasmatis. Once you arrive, trade the trader crew member and purchase 8 buckets of slime from them, and once you have them, run northwest and pass out of the energy barrier. Now run a tad north to the room with the ectofungus at the center, and then head up the stairs on the eastern wall. Then go a little north and you'll see a weird machine. Being careful not to bury them, use your bones on the loader, located on the right hand side of the machine, and your character will then start grinding all of your bones and putting the bone meal into your pots. It's a bit of a slow process, but the entire thing will happen automatically, so you only have to load the machine once, which we love. After all of your bones have been turned into bone meal, run back downstairs and then click to worship the ectofungus 8 times, once for each bone meal, and this will consume both your bone meal and your slime, and grant you a nice amount of prayer experience in the process. Then make sure that you're wearing your Ghost Speak amulet and chat to the ghost disciple close by, after which he will hand over 40 ecto tokens, and this stack will be enough for the quest, which is pretty great. It's now time to officially begin the quest. Run a little south and pay a toll to go into Port Phasmatis, and then run a tiny bit east into the small house. Talk to Velerina and start by saying, "Why? What is the matter?" And after a bit more chatter say, "Yes, I do. It is a very sad story." And then finally select yes to officially begin the quest. Now head west and go out of the gate and go a little bit north to the ectofungus before speaking to Necrovarus, and then spacebar through the chat. After your chat with the moody man is over, return back to Velerina and speak to her, and eventually ask, "Do you know where this woman can be found?" After you finish chatting to Velerina, run south to the bank, and you'll want to get yourself fully stocked up with all of the other quest items. And it's worth maybe just cross-referencing your inventory with my inventory to ensure that nothing is missing. Once you've got everything from the bank, use your Fenkenstrain's Castle teleport before running west. And once you're past the fence, change your direction and go south. You should see some nettles. Make sure that you're wearing your enclosed gloves and then pick some nettles, and after they're picked, you'll want to use them on your bowls of water. Repeating this process until all of your bowls of water are now nettle water. Afterwards, use your logs and tinderbox to light a fire, and then being careful not to drink it, use your nettle water on the fire to hopefully get at least one nettle tea. After you have your nettle tea, you'll want to run northwest, making your way into the little house located just east of the Slayer Tower. Enter the house and chat to the old crone inside. Spacebar through the chat and she'll hand you her special cup. Now being careful not to drink it, use your nettle tea on the porcelain cup to get a cup of tea, and then use your bucket of milk on the cup of tea to make it a lighter shade. Once you've done this, speak to the old crone once more. You will need to spacebar through a rather long chat, and then at the end say to the old crone, "You are doing so much for me. Is there anything that I can do for you?" And the old crone will hand you a model ship. Next, use your needle on the model ship to repair it, and after it has been repaired, teleport to Fenkenstrain's castle once more before running east. You're going to want to wind up a little northeast of the farming patch, whereby you'll find a battered ship that you can go inside of. Once inside, climb up the ladder and then run east. Before climbing up the southeastern ladder, you will land on a deck and you'll see a wind speed interface pop up on your screen. This changes between high and low, and it is only when the wind speed is low that by searching the mast you can uncover the colors of the flag above. And note that the flag colors are different for everyone, so your required colors will be different to mine. Stand next to the mast, and when the wind speed is low, search it. Then read the text to see what color it mentions and what part of the flag that color is used on. Repeat this process until you've been told the color for the top half of the flag, the bottom half of the flag, and the skull emblem. And then make a note of the dyes you need, mixing them if required to make the relevant colors. Repeat this until you've been told the color for the top half of the flag, the bottom half of the flag, and the skull emblem. Once you know all three of the colors and what parts of the flag they should be used on, then use the colored dyes on the model ship and correctly assign the color to the part of the flag that matches the real ship's flag. Once you're done, go back down the ladder and look for an old man. Talk to him and ask, "Is this your toy boat?" And then after spacebarring through the dialogue, you'll hand over the toy boat and he will give you a chest key. In the room on the eastern side of the ship, there will be a chest to the north. Use your key on it to unlock it, and then open it to get a map scrap. Now go down one of the ladders in the ship back to the basement and then go east. Open the southern chest that's next to the one that's already open, and a level 32 giant lobster will jump out. Defeat the lobster and then search the open chest to get your second map scrap. Once again, head back up the ladder and go to the northwestern area of the ship, whereby you should see a gangplank. Now cross the gangplank and then follow the path by jumping over all of the rocks until you reach the end, whereby there will be another chest. Open up and then search the chest to get a third map scrap. Once you have all three map pieces, use them on each other to form a treasure map, and after you have this, you'll then need to return back to Port Phasmatis by exiting out of the ship and running southeast. After you enter through the Port Phasmatis gates, continue going southeast and look for the ghost captain who is hanging out next to a small rowboat around the southern area of the port. Double check that you have both your treasure map and a spade in your inventory, and then talk to the ghost captain and agree to pay 25 ecto tokens to have him take you to Dragon Tooth Island. After you arrive, run to the southern part of the island, and after getting there, locate a lush evergreen tree and stand to the east of it. Then walk 2 tiles east and use your spade to dig, and you should uncover the Book of Harikanto. Once you've got your hands on the book, run north back to the boat and travel back to Port Phasmatis. Around the western side of the docks will be a fellow called Akharanu. Talk to him and spacebar through the chat before saying, "Okay, wait here, I'll get your bow." Now run a little bit west and go into the inn. Talk to Robin inside, who will challenge you to a game of rune draw. Say, "Yes, I'll give you a game," and you will then need to beat him at rune draw 4 times. But know that this doesn't have to be in a row. In rune draw, you take turns pulling runes from a bag which are worth different amounts of points. There is only one type of each rune in the bag with various runes worth various points. For example, a nature rune is worth 9 points, but a mind rune is worth 2 points. The main thing to know is that if you pull the death rune, then you instantly lose. The idea is to draw or hold runes with the aim of finishing with a higher total score, but without pulling the death rune. Honestly, it kind of just feels like a game of draw until someone loses by pulling the death rune. Keep playing, closing the interface after each match and then starting up a new game until you've won a total of 4 times, after which Robin will owe you 100 coins, and he will make up for that loss by signing your oak longbow. Now exit the inn and return east to Akharanu. After the chat, you'll give him the signed oak longbow, and in return he'll provide you with a translation manual. Now run a tiny bit northeast and trade a trader crew member before purchasing a bucket of slime. After you've got the bucket of slime, run back to the inn. Talk to the ghost innkeeper and ask, do you have any jobs I can do? And then afterwards say, yes, I'd be delighted. And the innkeeper will hand you a bedsheet. Next, use your bucket of slime on the bedsheet to dye it a ghostly color, and then wear it. Now head outside to the little square west of the inn, and then speak to Gravengas. Say, after hearing Valerina's story, I will be happy to help out. He will then hand you a petition form and you'll need to get 10 signatures on it. Keeping your glamorous bedsheets on, talk to the nearby ghost villagers to have them sign your petition. You can't ask the same ghost twice in a row, but you can alternate between 2 ghosts to get this done quickly. You can also just ignore the ghosts if they ask for ecto tokens, and sometimes they'll also outright reject you. But overall, it shouldn't be too difficult to get the signatures. After you've got the 10 signatures, you can somewhat sadly remove your very fashionable bedsheet and then run north to the ectofungus. Talk to Necrovarus and he will burn your petition, but while doing so he will also drop a bone key. Pick up the bone key that he drops and then go upstairs. Then try to make sure that the ghost disciple isn't too close and use the key on the door to the southern room with the coffin, before entering and opening the coffin, and then searching it to get some mystical robes. Next, teleport to Fenconstrain's castle and run west and then northwest back to the old crone's little house. Talk to the crone and she will take a few things from your inventory and perform the ritual of enchantment with a dance. Love that for her. Once the ritual is complete, use another Fenconstrain's castle teleport and then run east back to your temperamental bestie Necrovarus. Talk to Necrovarus and say, let any ghost who so wishes pass on into the next world. With your new powers, he'll have no choice but to agree, and afterwards you should gain free access to Port Phasmatis. Go south and run into the port town, passing the barrier, and then go east back to Valerina's house. Talk to Valerina, and after a bit of chatter, bam! Quest complete. You'll be awarded free entry to Port Phasmatis, an ecto-file which gives you easy teleports to the ectofungus, 2,400 prayer experience, and 2 quest points. Thanks for watching, catch you in the next quest!